Real estate is everywhere. Hello everyone, this is Karu, Creative Arts Representative Unlimited. Anything is an art. What do you represent? What is your art? Carlos Alexander Ruiz is unlimited. Put the U at the end of your name because you are unlimited. Those are the two things I'd like you to know about yourself, and I'd like you to comment them down below if you already know what those are, because I'd like to get to know what is your art and what do you represent, and I'd like to get to know your initials with the U at the end of your name because you are unlimited. I'd like to get to know the unlimited you. So this right here is basically going to talk about business owner and real estate investing and how we help business owners. I'm going to give an exact example on an actual client and how we helped his business scenario and him getting $272,000 direct deposit into his bank account through us helping him out when he was stuck and he wasn't able to get anybody to help him out. And we were able to come to the table to save him because of the fact that we support business owners specifically. So that's why when you come to this page, you'll see it says working entrepreneurs, because a lot of times what it comes down to on all these things that we see on social media and everywhere else is that it looks great, but at the end of the day, are you working? That's what matters. Are you working? That's what makes you an entrepreneur. So getting right into it, point is this right here is going to be, so when I go and I talk to people, right, I do not go to a lot of mixing events, networking events and things like that. I used to years ago. It wasn't very productive after time of going to so many events where it was a lot of fun. I did get business from it, but then I started to feel like, you know what? I don't think it's the most productive use of my time. And I've spoken to many others where they're like, yeah, right, and because you just go to so many damn events. And so the point is, that's so much been like in the past that I hardly go to events now. And today I went to an event. It was packed, right? And so from that, I felt weird because I was like, shit, just what do I do? And so then I saw somebody who I actually have a deal with right now. And so I was like, hey, what's up, man? And I just felt comfortable talking to who I know, right? And I ended up seeing other people who I knew, and they would like introduce me to others. And so like I felt good just within the people who I know. And so it's funny because I talk to others who as well, we may be on camera doing these things, but our purpose is to reach others who we resonate with. And that's basically that. So from there, I'm in this group full of a lot of people, but I felt weird. And so I only would talk to those who I knew, like, hey, what up, bro? Oh, hey, right? But point is, from there, someone asked me today, he goes, and I was going to work with these guys years ago. I was going to work for New York Life. Great company, Fortune 100 company, cool ass guy, tall Hispanic dude, everything, very presentable, suited and booted. And he goes, well, really quick about New York Life, I didn't get accepted because of something I did back in high school. And so just to say that to everybody, keep your stuff clean, always. Don't be perfect. None of us are perfect, right? But if you can just benefit yourself more and compound wins, that's a great thing that you can do for your life. Because a lot of us that we talk about, man, you didn't go through this, you didn't go through that. But in reality, you don't have to go through a bunch of stuff to have a great life. You can go through a bunch of stuff on the path towards building a great life. And so you have a lot of good problems instead of just piece of shit ones, right? And so I recommend that for everybody, because as I meet people who didn't have all this and have only had this, I'm like, F yeah, right? Because that's what I want to build for my family, my children, and things of that nature, right? So the point is, I meet this guy or see him again, hey, we're chopping it up. He goes, what is something that you look for in a client to be your ideal client? I got this big smile, and here is exactly my answer that I tell to everybody all the time. So, working within real estate, I primarily work with business owners and investors. To be more specific, people who are 1099, purposefully reporting low on their income because they just don't want to pay anything in taxes. And they still want to cash out, refinance, invest, or just purchase for themselves, but since they're reporting low on their income with their 1099 on purpose because they don't want to pay taxes, they can't get a regular loan. And so they need alternative methods of qualifying, such as bank statements, profit and loss, or if it's an investment property, stated income programs. And so we're going to talk on different ones, different times. This one's going to go into a certain scenario specific to how we help someone who was stuck and the different areas that came up as to how we were able to help them. So what that comes into is this. And so when I mention that in regards to business owners and specifically investors and so forth, by getting more specific that way, that's actually how I go in to help a lot of actual business owners and investors, because I'm mainly direct to consumer, and that's the purpose of these videos, to get direct to consumer with you if you're a business owner or investor. And from that, teaching you these things, or just informing you, a lot of these things you probably already know. You maybe have friends who can give you money in 4 days. If you have friends who can give you money in 4 days, stick to your friends who can give you money in 4 days. We can't do that. But if you're looking for terms that are much more lenient, flexible, and give you longer terms as well, and are very affordable, this is for you. And so that's pretty much that. So basically, the whole aspect as to why I break down 1099 specifically, and I talk about what I just did of people who are reporting low, but they still want to invest or refinance, but they can't get a regular loan, so they need alternative methods of qualifying. We help them. That's what I always end it with, because of the fact that that is specifically talking to that human being, that you know that if you are a business owner and you are an investor and you have these 1099s, that you know that come tax season, your tax preparer tells you you're going to pay this much, or we can do all these expenses and you can pay that much, or depending on your plan or your guy, whoever, you guys could pay that much, right? Because if you actually have these things come up for you tax season, then you know I'm talking directly to you, and that's why I break it down that specific when I'm actually meeting with people, right? Or just, when you ask me that question. And so there's that. But basically, this guy, what he had a scenario on is the fact that here was his business. His business is that he was, let me step to the side over here. He was a real estate agent, right? And as a real estate agent, he also then became an investor, right? And as an investor, he started just, getting properties, flipping properties, and also getting buy and hold properties. So that way, he was getting monthly income all the time. And so from that, what he also ended up getting is he had his own construction company, right? So from that construction company, now it was, okay, I'm a realtor, I'm producing, now I got into investments. Now he was like, why am I going to pay all this money out to other people to do the fixing on my flips and my buy and holds, where I can just open up my own construction company, have my own guys, right? Where I can just pay them out myself, since I'm already making money now. And then from that, I'm going to save money here on my investments, and we're going to get our own construction jobs as well on the side, outside of my own investment, so it just makes more money. And that's exactly what he did. So he was a realtor, he was an investor, and he had his own construction company do the work on his own investment properties. And then from that, he would get other outside jobs for his construction companies. His guys would just go out there and do it, and he made more money. And what he also had is he had his own escrow company. And so he had a lot of control on his deals when it was like a listing or certain things that he could do. He had a lot of control on it. So he had a good thing going on for him, right? But here was the kicker, where we were able to come in and help him, and he wasn't able to get help elsewhere. Basically, he had this property that he dumped a whole bunch of money into. And as he dumped a whole bunch of money into that property, the thing is, what he does is he reports 1099 low on his income, because he does not want to pay taxes. So because he does not want to pay taxes, and he still wants to be able to do financing for this other property, and he did not want a hard money loan because he didn't want it to eat up what he was looking to do on that property, because a lot more information is coming out nowadays where they're saying, hey, do not get hard money loans, because of the fact that those high interest rates eat up your profit as an investor, and you make less money at the end of the day. And so some investors say, hey, maintain financeable. Maintain financeable, meaning to get regular FHA and conventional loans. So I'm not talking about FHA and conventional, what I'm about to explain, but I hear investors say that too, because they're like, I'd rather get low interest rate loans on what I'm looking to do and maximize how much profit I'm going to make per flip. The difference is they're biting the bullet come tax season. So that's a whole other question for you to deal with your tax guy, right? I'm just giving information here. But this property, he dumped a whole bunch of money into this property. Here's where he was stuck. The fact is that for himself, what was going on is that he had property number 1 right here. That was on his regular primary residence where he lives. Then he has property number 2 over here. This was just another investment property that was in his name, right? And he had others that were under the company name and so on and so forth, but there was like some family thing and whatever, right? So this one wasn't going under his company, because I'm sure you know, and if you did not know, it's very smart to put them under your corporation for many other protection purposes as well. We'll put another video for that later time, but basically, because of some family scenario, it was just another property of his, but it was essentially an investment property for him because, you know, his family lived there, they pay him out to him. And then from there, what was going on is he had property number 3, which property number 3 was this property right here, right? That he's looking to get a loan for, because what he did is he dumped a whole bunch of money automatically into this property, which was something about $300 and something thousand into this, because at the end we got him about $272,000 direct deposit into his bank account. And for some people, a lot of people, just putting $300,000 down, just boom, it's a lot of money, right? And so a lot of people, what happens is they do that and then they go broke, right? They're like, I have no more money to do anything else. Now, I don't believe he was completely broke, because he had all these things going on for him pretty solid, but that was a large chunk of money. He just is there. And the thing is, it's locked up in that property. So you either are familiar with this or you're not, but you've heard about it where they hear, hey, I'm not liquid, my money is tied up in investments, right? So right here, it's tied up in his investment in this property where he knows I have 300,000, whatever, how much dollars in there that I put. I need to get some of that money back out, because what he wanted to do was this. He wanted to build another second unit property on this so that he could bring in more money, and he would have 2 incomes off of 1 property bringing him in monthly income. So he's like, I want to take money out so I could build another property on there, and what I want to do is I want to then use some of that money to go and buy another property, just another property completely. So really what you're doing is you're moving money, right? And that's really the beauty and the fun of what we get to do, is we're just moving money, right? Because essentially money is here, and we move it around to go into this property over here, and we move it around to do this right over here. And the thing is, he'll still have some extra funds that he can just use for whatever else he wants to use. So when you hear people talking about being liquid, this is what they talk about. I'm just saying this for those who aren't familiar, but if you are this, then you are familiar with your money being tied up in properties and you want to become liquid. So maybe you're not broke because you have other businesses or income coming in, right? And you just want to become more fluid so that you could do things such as build a second unit on that property, do whatever else you want to do, and or get another property completely, just other projects, bring in more deals, more money, more cash flow, right? Now some people, we help in a similar scenario, they don't have as much as this going on, they tied up all their funds and they're broke. They are broke. And they're like, we need to do something fast because we don't have much more money coming in. We spend it all here, it's all in there. And they can't even pay for the repairs to just do what they want to do on that property, right? And so they're stuck and they're like, we need to take that money out. And so this guy, as he did that, here was his thing. Where he was stuck is, since he reports low on his income for his 1099 taxes because he doesn't want to pay taxes, what happened was that we were able to help him this way. I'm going to draw this out right here. This is a bank statement loan that we helped him with. You might be familiar with the bank statement loan. You might have used it. You might have heard of it. Who knows? I don't know what your experience is with it, but I've heard from a lot of people where they say, hey, you know what? I tried to do a bank statement loan with this guy and it didn't work. I tried to do it with her and it didn't work. But people have done them with me and it works. So we help them get these done. And so that's why I'm explaining a real life scenario to you of someone who is in a certain predicament and we helped them out. So here's what happened. Basically, what comes down is that he had personal bank statements, right? And within personal bank statements, what we could do is we can use 100% of those personal bank statements, right? And from that, what that means is deposits. So all your deposits that you have coming into that bank account for your personal bank account, we can use 100% of them. Now, not a transfer. So if it's like from this account transferred into that account, we're just going to want to see the other account, right? Because we just need to see where the deposit was made. But if they're just checks going right in, wires going right in, we can use 100% of that to qualify you, right? From there, let's say this right here is a business bank account. And on a business bank account, what we could do is we can use 50% of all deposits that are being made into that account, because the difference is underwriting knows that there's expenses, that outlay that goes out for your business. So it's known that it uses operating expenses, right? But here's a good kicker too, that if you have a CPA, you can provide a CPA letter that says your business expenses are X, and then we can overcome this expense factor, right? So that made sense to you if you have a CPA. You know what I'm talking about. We can get a CPA letter saying your expense factor is X from your CPA, and we can overcome this expense factor on your business bank statements so that you can use more income to qualify from your business bank statements, right? Now, if you don't have a CPA, get yourself a CPA, right? If you need one, reach out. We have them. We can refer those to you. We don't do that. We can refer you to people who are really great. But if you have a CPA, you know what I'm talking about here. And that's huge. Here's another big kicker. The fact that what we hear is there's bank statement programs and they're like, well, you know what? We can only use either or, right? Meaning we can only use these bank statements, your personal ones, or we can only use your business bank statements, but we cannot use both in conjunction, right? Here's the great part. We can use both. All of that income that's going into your personal and your business bank account statements, and use that to qualify you. So going back to his kicker, reports low on his taxes, so he can't get a regular loan, doesn't want to use hard money that eats up all of his profit, and he has house number one where he lives with his wife and family and kids. House number two, because it was a family thing going on, it wasn't in one under his corporations, it was still under his name, so that still showed up. So we have to account for this mortgage, and the new mortgage that he's looking to get on this loan so that he could pull money cash out for the cash out refinance that we're going to do with him. So we had to qualify him to have enough money to do all that. This didn't work on his taxes, so because of the fact that we were able to use both of his personal and his business bank statements is why we were able to qualify him. And the thing is, he had tried this before and it didn't work out where else he was because of the fact that they only used one or the other. They did not use both. Also, they weren't too knowledgeable. So the thing is, previous to that, he had somebody else beat him around the bush a whole bunch of times before that guy even learned about what a bank statement program was, which then from there, whatever, the whole other story of this guy, with horror stories he went through. But point is, the way that I got in contact with him is I got this realtor list about like people who perform, and it says percentages on how much they perform compared to their own selves last year. And I was just banging on that list, just, hey, yo, what up? We can help you. Talk to us, right? And from that, I got a whole bunch of no, F you, leave me alone, right? But what I also got from that is some people, hey, send me an email, whatever, right? And I'd be on that stuff. And the thing is, I would just keep on it all the damn time. And I got a whole lot of nothing from it, but then I started to get from it, right? And then one day, I get an email from this guy where he's like, hey, send me some information. So I started to send some information. We started to talk about it a bit more. He was still like nothing was going on. One day I got him on the phone. He was like, yeah, you said you have a bank statement program, right? I was like, yes, I do. So then from that we started to communicate more. Nothing happened. One day, followed up again. He goes, I think I'm ready. You know, let's do that, right? Because now he was just stuck. He tried other things, didn't work. He was stuck with the $300,000 that he put into this bank, into this home, into this property for an investment, and he couldn't get that money out. And he didn't want a hard money loan that's going to eat up his profits. Couldn't get a regular loan. So then from that, he tried this before, it didn't work. He tried it with us, it worked. And so basically, because we were able to qualify him using both his personal and his business bank statements, we were able to use all the income that he was getting from his real estate business, from his investment business, from his construction business, from his escrow business, all combined together. And he was able to get, at the end of the day, I'm going to just use the black just because it goes, you can see it. He got $272,000 cash out, refinance, direct deposit into his bank account. That is $272,000 in one day that got deposited directly into his bank account. And from that, what he did is he then built that second unit in the back, and now he's renting out both of those units, and he's receiving monthly income on both of those. And he's cash flowing, positive cash flow income every single month, month after month. And the property is paying itself off, its own mortgage. And he got on this. Here's the great part. He got on this 30-year fixed loan, because this is a buy and hold. He wasn't looking to do a fix and flip. He was looking to do a buy and hold long term. And from that, he wants to be able to not have his profits eaten up from high interest rates. And because of that fact, this bank statement loan helped him out greatly, because it's 30 years right here. He may not have to keep it, or he probably won't, because he's smart and he'll just keep moving money, eventually pay it off and have no more loan on it way before these 3 years. And we're going to make other videos to teach you how to do that really fast, even if you're just living in a home for yourself. But here's the great part about it. We actually got him that with a 5.75 interest rate. That right there is huge. I'm not sure if you can see it on the video anymore right there. No, yeah, you can. 5.75 interest rate, 30 years fixed on an investment property. If you are a business owner, an actual investor in real estate, you know that on investment property, it is a badass deal for you to get 5.75 on investment properties that you're looking to do. Now, if you, again, I'm just reiterating, if you have a friend who can give you money in 4 days, stick with your friend, right? But if you're looking for long-term finances or even short-term finances where it isn't just somebody who can just give you money in 4 days and maybe they might need that money back kind of fast, because we understand your friend might be a hard money lender, a private money lender, but they run out of money too. And you guys who really flip know that, who like really have friends who do that, there'll be times where they're dry, right? And some of them start to open up bigger businesses because they start to get more investors and things of that nature. So it goes on, right? But all I'm saying is, if you're looking for a good solid program, whether you just want to fix and flip or buy and hold, we have some really solid programs I'm going to talk to you about more about in other videos. This right here is giving you a live example of someone who we helped in this scenario, who's in real estate, who's an investor, who has his own construction company, escrow company. He's all real estate oriented, right? And is a real business owner reporting low on his taxes, 1099 income, because he just doesn't want to pay taxes. He doesn't want to pay that every single year. And so he makes it look like he's broke on his taxes. And so it helps him net more money in his business. And because of that, he was able to just be more profitable overall year round, which allows him to get more investment property. But then when he had a large sum of money locked up in here, and he was not broke, he had more money coming in. So in his scenario, how other people may put money here and they're broke, he was not broke, but he goes, I have money that's tied up there that I want to use, period. So we help him cash out refinance. He now built a second unit and he bought another property with that money. So now he's just moving his money, making more money. And so the great thing that I really enjoy about what we get to do is we get to make a living helping others make a living. And this right here is exactly doing that, putting $272,000 direct deposit into someone's bank account so that they could continue to grow their wealth. And so that right there is really the purpose of what I enjoy doing, are this right here, right? Because of the fact that we help real people do this long term. And my whole thing, just so you know, I do not currently invest in real estate. My whole goal is to continue to help as many real estate investors as I can. And then from that, once the market shifts, I'm going to be able to have a long list of real estate investors who I've helped. They trust me because of the fact that I help them do this. I help them make money. And you guys who do deals with people, you know there's a certain vibe. Once you made money with someone, you're like, hey, I make money with them, you know? And so that's what I enjoy about this, is being that person that has the trust with you to actually help you grow and develop in your life. And then from that, when I look to start investing, once the market shifts, I'm going to be able to talk to all my real estate investors who I've helped and say, hey, I found this property. Do you want to go in on it with me? Hey, I found this property. Do you want to go in on it with me? And the benefit about that is I actually get to connect investors with themselves as well, which I've already done as well. And so if you want to be one of those investors who I can connect you with other investors so you guys can just do more of what you're already doing, and if you need a scenario like this solved for you, give us a call and click on the links below so that we can help you out. Whether it's going to be something that we put on this video right here or directly in the description below, there's going to be information for you to be able to reach out to us so that we can help you with your investment property. And this right here is just one scenario. We have a whole bunch of others that we're going to be sharing in other videos that talk about different scenarios, different programs, right? Some same, and just showing how we did that to actually help people get ahead and make more money in real estate investing, right? So that's basically it. That's it for this video. This is Karu, Creative Arts Representative Unlimited. What is your art? What do you represent? I'd love to know what that is. Carlos Alexander Ruiz is unlimited. Put the U at the end of your name because you are unlimited. So what are those initials for you? Comment that down below because I like to get to know the unlimited you. Till next time, much love. Peace out.